Hey, Raidas here, the founder of Mental Fitness Gym. In this video, I'm going to walk you through the three-phase mental transformation plan. This is the step-by-step roadmap for identifying what is holding you back internally, dissolving the hidden inner blocks behind your patterns, and protecting the breakthrough so you don't keep falling back into the same cycle after a few good days. I have used this work in my own life, through my own transformation, and I have built Mental Fitness Gym around this exact idea that if you want next level income, relationships, confidence, success, health, and happiness, you cannot only work on the outside. You have to upgrade the inner system that is controlling your thoughts, emotions, decisions, actions, and self-worth. So first, I will show you why most people stay stuck even when they are motivated. Second, I will show you the three phases of mental transformation. And third, I will help you diagnose where you are right now so you can see exactly what needs to happen next. And when I say this is not theory, I mean that personally. For a long time, I thought something was wrong with me. For years, I didn't even feel worthy of doing what I'm doing now. I always dreamed about teaching, educating, helping people, and getting paid for it. But I kept saying the same thing tomorrow. Tomorrow I will start. Tomorrow I will be ready. Tomorrow I will be good enough. I said that for over 5 years. Instead of starting, I prepared. I learned, I studied, I collected knowledge, books, courses, frameworks. On paper, it looked productive. In reality, it was fear disguised as preparation. Because here's the truth. I already knew what to do. I just wasn't doing it. And that was the most frustrating part. Externally, I had everything I needed to start. Internally, something kept pulling the brakes. That pattern didn't start there. As a kid, I was shy, afraid to stand out, afraid to fully go for first place, always close, but never allowing myself to win. Second place, almost there, just short. That pattern followed me everywhere, in sports, in relationships, in money. Even when opportunities came, I found a way to say no. Deep down, I believed big success wasn't for me, that it was for other people. So I stopped lying to myself. The problem wasn't lack of knowledge. The problem wasn't strategy. The problem was internal. So I went looking for the real cause, not motivation, not surface level mindset tips. I wanted to know exactly what was holding me back. That search took hundreds of hours, then over 1,000 more, and eventually a clear pattern appeared. Everything came back to self-worth. More specifically, 4 types of internal programs: guilts, shames, fears, limiting beliefs. They were running quietly in the background, deciding what I felt worthy of, what I allowed myself to want, how far I let myself go. That's why I waited. That's why I undervalued myself. That's why I kept saying tomorrow. So I went deeper. I tested method after method. Therapy models, mental techniques, subconscious work. Some helped a bit, most didn't last. I wasn't willing to spend decades working on myself. I wanted something that actually removes the programs. So I kept refining, failing, adjusting, testing again, until I found what truly worked. Not inspiration, not motivation, but system-level inner change. That's when everything shifted. My self-worth stabilized. Fear stopped running decisions. I stopped waiting for permission, and I finally started. That's why you are seeing me here now, doing what I wanted to do for years. Feeling worthy, getting paid for the value I provide, helping people at scale. And the inner shift didn't affect just one area. I built a dream business in my passion and 10x my income. I attracted my dream woman and built a deep, loving, soulmate-level relationship. I reached the best shape of my life and unlocked energy levels that power all areas of my life. I have freed myself from old negative mental programs, gained deep inner peace, and now feel happiness and fulfillment daily. That's when I realized something critical. Most people don't fail because of strategy. They fail because of an outdated inner system. So I stopped treating the mind like motivation, and I started treating it like an operating system. That's how Inner System Update was born. A way to remove outdated subconscious programs that were driving my everyday decisions, reactions, and self-sabotage, and install empowering ones that naturally pull you toward your goals, your dream life, and true internal and external freedom. Now, why most people stay stuck? Most people think the problem is discipline. They think, I need to try harder. I need more motivation. I need more willpower. I need a better routine. I need to be more consistent. And sometimes those things help. But if you have ever been motivated for a few days, started something with real intention, made progress, and then somehow returned to the same emotional pattern, the same procrastination, the same doubt, the same fear, the same self-sabotage, then you know something deeper is going on. Because your behavior is not random. Your behavior is the output of an inner system. The outer world gives you an input. Someone criticizes you, a new opportunity appears, you need to make a decision, you need to be visible, you need to ask for more, you need to set a boundary, you need to start again, you need to keep going when the excitement is gone. That input goes into your inner system. Inside that system, you have old memory files, meanings you attached to past events, guilt, shame, fear, limiting beliefs, subconscious rules, identity patterns, emotional associations, and your current level of self-worth. And then your system gives you an output. You take action or you avoid action. You speak or you stay silent. You ask or you shrink. You continue or you disappear. You receive or you push away. You move forward or you sabotage the thing you said you wanted. And this is why so many people are stuck. They are trying to force a new output while the old inner system is still running. So this video is about the roadmap for changing the system, not just forcing the behavior. This is why I can speak about this from experience. I know what it feels like to look productive on the outside while fear is disguised as preparation on the inside. I know what it feels like to keep saying tomorrow and to think the missing piece is more knowledge, when the real missing piece is a reset inside the system. And that is the reason this roadmap starts where it starts. Not with action, but with identification. The three-phase bridge. The mental transformation process is simpler than most people think, but that doesn't mean it's shallow. Inside Mental Fitness Gym, the entire method can be understood in three phases. Phase 1, identify. Phase 2, reset. Phase 3, protect, maintain, and upgrade. This applies to self-sabotage, it applies to low self-worth, it applies to fear, it applies to shame, it applies to guilt, it applies to limiting beliefs, it applies to confidence, relationships, income, health, visibility, discipline, emotional control, and almost every pattern where you feel like something inside is working against you. Because before you can change something, you need to know what you are actually working on. That is phase 1, identify. Not I procrastinate. This is the surface. Not I overthink. That is the surface. Not I'm lazy. That is usually not even true. Not I'm inconsistent. That is only the visible pattern. The real question is, what inner block is creating this? Is it a fear? Is it shame? Is it guilt? Is it a limiting belief? Is it a self-worth issue? Is it a subconscious rule? Is it an old memory file? Is it an identity pattern that says, people like me don't do this, or this is not safe for me, or I'm not worthy of this yet? That is phase 1. Then phase 2 is reset. This is where you stop only understanding the problem and start changing the inner system that keeps creating it. You reset the emotional charge. You reset the meaning. You reset the rule. You reset the block. You reset the self-worth damage connected to that pattern. And then phase 3 is protect, maintain, and upgrade. This is the part most people miss. They get a breakthrough, they feel better, they understand something, maybe they have a powerful moment, and then life happens. They get triggered again, they receive criticism again, they compare themselves again, they get rejected again, they feel pressure again, they go back into an old environment again. And because there is no protection system, the old pattern pulls them back. So phase 3 is about protecting the breakthrough, maintaining the new baseline, and then increasing it over time. For self-worth, that means you identify the inner blocks lowering your self-worth, you reset those blocks, and then you protect and boost your self-worth. For self-sabotage, it means you identify the pattern, reset the inner block behind it, and then build an anti-sabotage protocol so the old trigger does not hijack you again. For confidence, it means you identify what makes you shrink, reset the inner block connected to it, and then train the new identity until confidence becomes natural. This is the three-phase mental transformation plan. And this is why this roadmap is so important. The same inner system can affect many different areas of life. For one person, the block shows up as procrastination. For another person, it shows up as relationship patterns. For another person, it shows up as low confidence, fear of visibility, money blocks, health habits, or the feeling of not being worthy of more. Different surface problem, same deeper structure. Again, three-phase process. First, identify what is really happening. Second, reset the inner blocks. Third, protect and strengthen the results. Now, the stages of mental transformation. Let me show you the journey, because everyone watching this is somewhere on this path. At the bottom, we have confusion. This is where you know you are capable of more, but you don't know why you keep getting stuck or not getting the results you want. You might say, I don't know what is wrong with me. I know what I should do, but I don't do it. I know I want more, but I keep falling back. Then we move into awareness. This is where you begin to realize, maybe I'm not lazy. Maybe this is not just discipline. Maybe this is an inner pattern. Then comes identification. This is where things get powerful. You stop guessing. You can actually name what is happening. You can say, this is fear of rejection. This is shame around being seen. This is guilt that makes me overgive. This is a limiting belief about money. This is a memory file from the past. This is a rule I installed years ago. After identification comes reset. This is where you begin to change the emotional meaning, the self-worth damage, the subconscious rule, the belief, or the pattern itself. Then comes protection. This is where you learn how to stop the old pattern from coming back the moment life tests you. And at the top, we have embodied mental fitness. This is where mental transformation is not just something you understand. It becomes how you live. You can diagnose yourself. You can choose the right tool. You can protect your self-worth. You can reset your inner system. You can keep upgrading. The mistake is trying to jump to the top without going through the phases. People try to act confident before they identify why they feel unsafe being visible. They try to force discipline before they identify what pain their brain associates with action. They try to receive more money before they identify the guilt, shame, or self-worth blocks that make receiving feel unsafe. They try to build better relationships before they identify the old meanings and emotional patterns they keep bringing into new situations. That is why the roadmap matters. Now, before we go deeper, quick note. If you are already seeing yourself in this, and you already know that you don't just want to understand this intellectually, but you actually want to go through the full three-phase process and start creating your own mental transformation, click the first link in the description. That will give you access to the three-phase Self-Sabotage Reset System inside Mental Fitness Gym. But if you want to understand the roadmap first, stay with me, because now I'm going to help you diagnose exactly where your inner system needs work. Now let's do a practical exercise together. The 9-part diagnostic scan. Now I want you to score yourself as we go. Use red, yellow, or green. Red means this is a problem for me. Yellow means I kind of understand this, but it is not fully clear or stable. Green means I have this handled. And please be honest, this is not about judging yourself. This is about locating where the next breakthrough needs to happen. Okay, phase 1 is identify. The first question is, do you know your repeating pattern? For example, do you know the pattern that keeps showing up in your life? Maybe you procrastinate when things become important. Maybe you overthink when you need to decide. Maybe you disappear when you start getting attention. Maybe you sabotage relationships when they get close. Maybe you undercharge, overgive, or feel guilty receiving. Maybe you start strong and then lose consistency. Maybe you feel worthy one day and completely not enough the next day. So, if you don't know the pattern, that is red. If you know some of it, but it is still vague, that is yellow. If you can clearly name the repeating pattern, that is green. Now, in most cases, for most people, that is green. So I marked it green. Let's go to the second question. The second question is, do you know the inner block behind the pattern? This is different. A lot of people know the pattern, but they don't know the block. They know they procrastinate, but they don't know if procrastination is protecting them from failure, rejection, shame, responsibility, visibility, or disappointment. They know they overthink, but they don't know if overthinking is fear disguised as intelligence. They know they don't ask for more, but they don't know if the block is guilt, low self-worth, fear of conflict, fear of appearing arrogant, or a limiting belief that says people like me should be grateful for what we have. So ask yourself, do I know what inner block is creating the pattern? Red means you are guessing. Yellow means you have some ideas. Green means you can clearly name the block. Now, for most people, that is between red and yellow, but in most cases, that's red. Now, the third question. Do you know the memory file? This is very important. Most inner blocks are not floating in the air. They are connected to experiences, meanings, memories, emotional moments, and interpretations. At some point, something happened, or something happened repeatedly, and your mind attached meaning to it. Maybe something laughed at you, and the meaning became, it is dangerous to be seen. Maybe you asked for something and got rejected, and the meaning became, it is painful to want. Maybe you failed publicly, and the meaning became, if I try and fail, I will be humiliated. Maybe someone made you feel selfish for wanting more, and the meaning became, receiving makes me a bad person. Maybe you were compared to others, and the meaning became, I'm not enough. So do you know the specific memory file or repeated pattern of memory files connected to your current block? Red means no. Yellow means you have a few possible memories. Green means you know the key situations. For most people, that is yellow. That is phase 1. Now, phase 2 is reset. So the fourth question is this. Do you know the meaning you attached to the event? Because the event is not the only thing controlling you. The meaning is controlling you. Two people can go through something similar and create completely different meanings. One person gets rejected and decides, I'm not enough. Another person gets rejected and decides, that was not aligned. I will learn and continue. Same outer event, different inner meaning, different life direction. So ask yourself, do I know what meaning I attached to the memory file? Red means no. Yellow means partly. Green means yes, I can name the meaning. Again, for most people, that is yellow. Now, the fifth question is this. Do you know how this affected your self-worth? This is where things get deep, because many problems are not just about the behavior. They are about the level of worthiness and deservingness underneath the behavior. If guilt makes you feel like you owe people, it lowers your ability to receive. If shame makes you feel exposed, wrong, or not good enough, it lowers your willingness to be seen. If fear makes opportunity feel dangerous, it lowers your ability to act. If a limiting belief says, I'm not the kind of person who can have this, it lowers your allowed level. So ask yourself, do I understand how this block has affected my self-worth, my deserve level, and what I allow myself to receive or become? Red means no. Yellow means somewhat. Green means clearly. Now, for most people, that is red. The sixth question is, do you have a real reset process? Not a quote, not motivation, not just think positive, not just believe in yourself, not just let it go. Do you have a process that helps you go into the exact block, work with the exact memory file, change the meaning, neutralize the emotional charge, and reset the pattern at the level where it was formed? If the answer is no, that is red. If you have some tools, but you are inconsistent or not sure how to use them, that is yellow. If you have a reliable process, that is green. Again, for most people, that is red. Now, phase 3 is protect, maintain, and upgrade. So the seventh question is, do you know your triggers? A trigger is not random. It is a situation that activates the old program. Criticism may activate shame. Success may activate fear. Receiving may activate guilt. Visibility may activate the memory file of being laughed at. Conflict may activate the old rule that love disappears when people are upset. Rest may activate guilt. More money may activate the fear of losing control or being judged. So do you know what situations activate your old pattern? Red means no, yellow means partly, green means yes. In most cases, for most people, it's yellow. Now, the eighth question is, do you have an interruption protocol? When the old pattern starts, what do you do? Because if you don't have a protocol, you will probably do what you have always done. You will avoid, you will overthink, you will shrink, you will distract yourself, you will seek validation, you will attack yourself, you will go back to the old identity. So, do you know how to interrupt the old pattern in the moment? Red means no, yellow means sometimes, green means yes. For most people, it's red. And now the ninth question is, do you have a maintenance and upgrade system? This is the difference between a temporary breakthrough and a lasting transformation. Most people only work on themselves when things get painful. But mental fitness is like physical fitness. You don't go to the gym once, feel strong for one day, and then say, okay, I'm done forever. You train, you maintain, you strengthen, you protect, you upgrade. So do you have a system that helps you protect your self-worth, maintain the result, and continue improving over time? Red means no, yellow means inconsistent, green means yes. For most people, it's between red and yellow, but mostly red. And now let's look at your score. If you have at least one red or at least two yellows in phase 1, you need to work on identifying what's holding you back. If you have at least one red or two yellows in phase 2, you need to work on resetting the inner blocks you know you have. If you have at least one red or two yellows in phase 3, you need to work on protecting, maintaining, and upgrading your new baseline. And if you have red or yellow across all 3 phases, then this is exactly why you may feel like you understand a lot, but your life still keeps repeating old patterns, because the full system is not installed yet. Okay, but how the 3 phases work in real life? Let me make this real. For me, this showed up strongly around business, work, money, and freedom. Before, I was earning far less than I was capable of, barely getting by for years, undervaluing myself, charging too little, saying no to opportunities, even though deep down, I knew I had more to offer. After mental transformation, I built a dream business in my passion, 10x'd my income, helped thousands of people worldwide, and created full financial and location freedom to live and work from anywhere. Now, why it changed? This didn't change because of strategy. It changed because I fixed the inner system that was keeping my self-worth low. The real problem was that my self-worth was unstable. Guilt, shames, fears, and limiting beliefs were silently deciding how much I allowed myself to earn. So I stopped trying to push harder and started doing a targeted inner system update focused on self-worth. Step 1 was guilt. First, I removed the specific guilt that made me feel undeserving of more money, success, and visibility. Step 2 was shame. Then I worked through the specific shames that kept me minimizing myself and hiding my value. Step 3 was fear. Next, I removed the fears that stopped me from charging more, being visible, and fully committing to my business. Step 4 was limiting beliefs. After that, I cleared the limiting beliefs telling me I wasn't ready, not expert enough, or not worthy of big success. Step 5, self-worth boosting. Once the blocks were removed, I actively strengthened my self-worth using specific self-worth boosters. Now, why it worked? When my self-worth stabilized, my decisions changed automatically, without forcing, without pushing. I stopped undercharging, stopped hesitating, stopped playing small. That's how I finally built the business I wanted, earned 10x more, helped more people, and created the freedom I dreamed about for years. Most people don't need a new strategy. They need to fix the inner system, deciding what they feel worthy of earning. Now, some other examples. Example 1, self-sabotage. Someone says, I keep procrastinating. If we stay on the surface, the advice is obvious. Make a schedule, remove distractions, wake up earlier, be disciplined. And again, that can help. But what if procrastination is not the real problem? What if procrastination is the protection strategy? What if action feels dangerous? Because action can lead to failure, rejection, criticism, responsibility, or visibility. So phase 1 is identify. We identify the pattern, procrastination. We identify the block, maybe fear of failure or shame around being judged. We identify the memory file, maybe a moment where they tried, failed, and felt humiliated. Phase 2 is reset. We work with the meaning attached to that memory file. We reset the emotional charge. We change the old rule that says, if I try and fail, I'm not enough. And phase 3 is protect. We identify the trigger, important work, deadlines, visibility, pressure. We create an interruption protocol. We protect the new rule, action is safe, feedback is information, my worth is not on trial. That is mental transformation. Not forcing action over fear forever, resetting the system so action becomes safer. Now, example 2, self-worth. Someone says, I don't feel worthy of what I want. Again, surface advice might be repeat affirmations. Stand in front of a mirror, say, I am worthy. But if there are heavy inner blocks pulling the system down, affirmations can feel fake. So phase one is identify. What is lowering self-worth? Is it guilt? Is it shame? Is it fear? Is it a limiting belief? Is it comparison? Is it a pattern of putting other people above you and minimizing yourself? Is it a memory file where you attached the meaning, something's wrong with me? Phase two is reset. You reset those blocks. You work with the guilt, the shame, the fear, the limiting belief, the old meaning, the old identity pattern. Phase three is protect, maintain, and upgrade. You protect self-worth from new triggers. You stop adding new negative weight. You build a stronger inner baseline. You boost self-worth through aligned action, values, evidence, and self-respect. So self-worth becomes less dependent on the outside world. This is one of the biggest shifts I want people to understand. When self-worth is unstable, life feels like it's constantly deciding your value for you. A comment can lower you. A rejection can lower you. A mistake can lower you. A slow month can lower you. A relationship problem can lower you. But when you start identifying and resetting the inner blocks that keep pulling self-worth down, you begin to build a more stable internal baseline. That is the kind of transformation we are building toward. Example 3. Visibility and confidence. Someone says, I want to create content, speak, lead, sell, express myself, or show up online, but I keep hiding. Again, surface advice might be, just post, just speak, just be confident. But confidence is not just a decision when your inner system associates visibility with danger. So phase one is identify. What is the block? Fear of judgment? Fear of rejection? Shame around being seen? A limiting belief that says, who am I to do this? A memory file where being visible became painful? Phase two is reset. You reset the meaning and emotional charge around being seen. Phase 3 is protect and upgrade. You create a new response to criticism. You train your nervous system to stay steady. You protect your self-worth when numbers are low, when people misunderstand you, when someone criticizes you, or when your old identity tries to pull you back. And this is not only for one area of life. A relationship pattern needs the same 3 phases. A body, health, or energy pattern needs the same 3 phases. A confidence or visibility pattern needs the same 3 phases. The external goal changes, but the mental transformation architecture stays the same. This is why the 3-phase plan is so important. The problems can be different. The examples can be different. The tools can be different. The challenges inside Mental Fitness Gym can be different. But the transformation structure stays the same. This is why I created Mental Fitness Gym, because most people don't need more random advice. They have already watched the videos, they have already saved the posts, they have already read the quotes, they have already promised themselves they will change. The problem is not that they have no information. The problem is that their inner system have not been trained, reset, protected, and upgraded in a structured way. And that is exactly what Mental Fitness Gym is built for. It is not just a course, it is not just a community, it is not just content. It is a mental training platform, a place where you can work on the inner blocks that affect your confidence, self-worth, self-sabotage, emotional patterns, identity, relationships, income, health, success, and happiness. And the current core path inside Mental Fitness Gym is the 3-phase Self-Sabotage Reset System. Phase 1 is the 7-day What's Holding You Back challenge. This helps you identify the hidden inner blocks, lowering your self-worth, creating self-sabotage, and keeping you stuck. The goal is not to give you another motivation boost. The goal is to help you build your inner block map so you can finally see what is actually running inside your system. Phase 2 is the 7-day self-worth reset. This helps you choose one priority block and begin resetting the self-worth damage connected to it. Because once you identify the block, the next question is, what did this do to your self-worth, your deserve level, your identity, your emotional safety, and your ability to receive or move forward? Phase 3 is the 7-day anti-sabotage protocol. This helps you protect the breakthrough. You identify your triggers. You interrupt the old patterns. You protect the new rule. You maintain the new baseline. You build a protocol so the old program does not keep pulling you back. And over time, more challenges, tools, and programs will be added to the platform. Because the goal is not that you join for one video or one PDF. The goal is that you join a place where your inner system keeps getting stronger. The goal is that you get results, you get wins, you keep upgrading, and you have a mental fitness home you can keep returning to as your life expands. Because every new level brings new inner challenges. New income can trigger old guilt. New visibility can trigger old shame. New relationships can trigger old fears. New responsibility can trigger old limiting beliefs. New success can trigger old allowed level. So the work is not only to break through once. The work is to become someone who knows how to identify, reset, protect, maintain, and upgrade their inner system for life. Now, more proof that change can happen. Over the last years, I have helped thousands of people remove fear, anxiety, self-doubt, and inner blocks. I have received so many messages, so many comments. Thank you, you changed my life. I finally feel in control. I found the courage to start again. We have so many messages like these, testimonials, reviews, comments. I couldn't even count. They are real people who stopped fighting themselves and started mastering their inner world. So here's my invitation. If you want to find your hidden inner blocks, reset self-sabotage patterns, protect your self-worth, and start training your inner system in a structured way, then click the first link in the description. That will give you access to the free-phase Self-Sabotage Reset System, the whole mental fitness gym training platform, and our community. Inside, you can start with phase 1 and build your inner block map. Then you can move into phase 2 and start resetting the self-worth damage connected to your priority block. Then you can move into phase 3 and build your anti-sabotage protocol so the result does not disappear the moment life tests you. Or if you are interested in working with me one-on-one and you are curious about what it looks like to get highly personalized attention on your exact inner blocks, your exact patterns, your exact self-worth challenges, and your exact situation, then click the second link in the description. That will take you to a video walkthrough where I explain how the one-on-one personalized work works. The platform is the structured way. The one-on-one work is for people who want more personalized guidance, more direct attention, and a deeper look into their specific inner system. Either way, the next step is simple. Don't just collect this information, use it. Because if you can identify what is really holding you back, reset the inner blocks behind it, and protect the breakthrough, your life will start changing from the inside out. The income, the relationships, the success, the health, the happiness. And I want you to remember this. There is nothing wrong with you because you have patterns. There is nothing wrong with you because you have fear. There is nothing wrong with you because you have shame, guilt, doubt, limiting beliefs, or moments where you sabotage yourself. It means your inner system learned something. It attached meaning to experiences. It created rules to protect you. It built patterns to avoid pain. It tried to keep you safe. But what protected you at one stage of life can become the thing that limits you at the next stage. And that is where mental transformation begins. Not by attacking yourself, not by forcing yourself, not by pretending the past did not affect you, but by learning how your inner system works, identifying the blocks, resetting what no longer serves you, and protecting the new version of you as it grows. And if you are ready to start, click the first link in the description. I will see you inside.